Hello, I'm Shawn. I am currently 20 now, and I have dyslexia. Real quick, I want everybody just to hold out their hand. Just hold it up in the sky. Okay? Now I want you to take that hand, put it in front of your face. How many fingers do you have? Anybody? Scream it out. 5 fingers, right? Now look at your thumb. That thumb was me through my whole year of schooling. You can drop your hands down. Because the statement is every 1 in 5 children have dyslexia. I was that thumb. If you notice, your thumb goes away from all your other fingers. That was me. I had no friends. I stayed away from everybody. And mainly because I thought I was dumb. I didn't have the word dyslexia yet in middle school through almost high school. I didn't have it. So I thought I was just stupid, I wasn't going to pass, I wasn't good enough for anybody. Okay? So I'm going to take you to my middle school. Okay? About 1st, 2nd grade, as far as I can remember. I like to play off as I was the shy guy, but really, I know what I could do in school. I knew I couldn't read to the level that the other kids were reading at. And pretty much I just felt like I was stupid. I felt like I didn't belong here. Now moving into, I'm going to jump a little bit to 4th grade. It's going to be a little bit of a sim here. I'm not going to give you my whole life story. But jumping into 4th grade, I was actually, there was a part that made me feel like I was really stupid. And it was when I turned in a history packet that was done for homework, which had reading followed by some questions. Well, I acted like I read it, but in reality I really skimmed it and didn't really read it because I couldn't read. And I get to the questions, and I started answering the questions, and I ended up doing like 2 out of the 4 questions. And then I handed back to the teacher. Well, the teacher would come up to me and say, Shawn, this has been going on for quite a while now, and I just feel like you're not trying. Now, right there, as a dyslexic, that hurt the most. But at that age, I didn't know that. I just thought I was stupid. So right there, when that teacher said that, a whole bunch of emotion just built up inside of me. I felt like I was lost, felt like I wasn't good enough, thought I was going to drop out of middle school. In 4th grade, I already was thinking about dropping out of school. So now I'm going to jump ahead to about 8th grade. Okay? 8th grade, still don't know that I'm dyslexic. Still have not gotten tested, and still just putting off homework, still not doing it, still trying to hide it. I get into the 8th grade English. Kids in here who have dyslexia, when you get into 8th grade English, there's a lot of reading, there's a lot of writing, and there's a lot of stuff going on. So be ready for that. I don't mean to scare you. It's easy if you have the tutoring and the help that you need, and the little tools in your tool bag, what my tutor calls it. Tools in your tool bag, if you can pull those out and use those, your 8th grade will go easier than mine. Okay? My 8th grade, my English teacher pulled me aside because I wrote an essay about, actually, I wrote one of these poems. I scratched it down and wrote it, turned it in. I haven't told anybody this yet, but in 8th grade I scratched down one of the poems that I'm going to read to you today that is now published. That I turned it in, she pulled me aside, and she said, is this poem your actual feelings right now? I told her no, because I didn't know what I have or if I was stupid or what's going on with me. And to be silly, if there's one thing that I can teach these kids, don't ever to be afraid to label yourself as special. That was my problem. I thought if I said that I was a special ed student, I would lose friends, I'd be lonely, and I'd be an outcast, which were the three things that I already thought I was. So don't ever be afraid to say that you're special. You know what? I don't even call it special. I say that I'm talented now. I take dyslexia as a talent more than I do as a disability. So the 8th grade teacher pulled me aside and had me sit down with the principal and also the school psychologist. And they wanted me on my 8th grade year to take a series of tests that they said would take about 3 hours each, and they were about, I don't know, 100 to 200 questions each. Now as an 8th grader, you hear that and you're like, whoa, I don't want to do that. So my parents left me up to my decision to say yes if I wanted to take the test, or say no and continue to try and push and see if I can better myself. Well, of course, I said no. So now I'm in high school, freshman year, and I turn in this poem again. I managed to switch schools from 8th grade to freshman year. Switch schools, had another assignment where I could turn in another poem, and I ended up turning in the same poem. And this teacher actually just blew right past it. So right now, I'm going to jump away from my story, and I'm going to read you the first poem that I have. And not to put down this teacher or anything, but when I read this, you guys hear it, you're going to be like, wow, she kind of just let it go. She just put a check mark on my homework and handed it back. Okay. Hate Poem by Shawn, Cork. I hate you a lot I do. Everything that has happened to me hates everything about you. My struggle in grammar hates you. The way my brain comprehends hates you. The sounds I make when I attempt to read difficult words, like a 2-year-old saying mama, hates you. Each graded paper I have received hates you. Watch out, for I despise you. The long nights reading my papers over and over, and still finding more and more errors to fix, hate you. The history we had together, hate you. The amounts of punishment you gave me for not understanding how to do the homework, and for asking questions on it, hates you. This pencil on this paper hates you. My confidence hates you. My determination to get better hates you. A serial killer resembles my hate towards you. All the times you failed me without giving me a chance, hate. My hesitation when you forced me to give a presentation, hate. My thanks for everything you have done at the end of the year, hate. You know how I always asked how to spell simple words but still had a hard time understanding what you were saying? Hate. Layers of hate. A wedding cake. We will never be working together to overcome my problems. Hate you. Everything you have told me I could never accomplish. Hate you. All around, I have always hated you. So, a little bit dark, a little bit sad. Didn't get anybody to cry this champion chat.
The room was crying in November.
Darn.
Yeah.
I'm trying to be strong, so
It's
she
okay.
hates when I do that in public.
It's okay. But yeah, you can see the pain, and I'm sure if any of you heard that, kids in here can relate. I don't know. Sometimes it will happen with experience, but if you guys got tested and is already labeled as dyslexia, then you won't have so much hate and so much pain that I've had my entire life. Okay, so freshman year, you're about 15, 16 years old, and I still don't know that I'm a dyslexic. After writing that, I finally built the courage. My junior year, I said, okay, there's got to be something going on in my brain. There's no reason why I'm lower than everybody else. There's no reason. So finally, my junior year, I was 17 years old. My summer, between the junior year going into senior year, so I would almost be a senior. I finally got the courage to do the testing. I took the testing, finally got that word dyslexia, and it literally, my mood changed. Since my mood's changed, I was carrying a 2.39 in high school, my freshman to junior year. That's about a D average. By my senior year, just 1 year, after I got tested and got the tutoring I needed, I finished with a 2.9. Almost a B average. Almost. So it goes to show, if I would have got the testing done in 8th grade when they asked, instead of putting it off like I did, I could have been a lot better in high school. I could have got the grades I needed. I could probably be almost out of college by now. But right now, I am currently a freshman at ECC. Yeah, I'm a freshman because first year I went to do trade school. I just kind of put off school again and decided to try the HVAC and hit electricity. And when you're dyslexic and you see all those wires and all the numbers and all the letters, it just goes haywire. So I said, all right, I don't want to do this. But then I was like, because I coach travel basketball. I'm a head coach for 5th grade. And I realized that I can really connect to kids. And a person that connects to kids as a strength would probably be really good as a teacher. So right now I'm currently going for my double major in special education and elementary education. My true dream right now is to actually get my special ed education degree, and then also I want to teach dyslexic kids. How cool would that be, a dyslexic teaching a dyslexic? So that is what I want to do. Now I'm going to read a little more of an inspiring poem that I also had done senior year. It's for an English class. I wrote it literally 5 minutes. 5 minutes I wrote it. And it's more inspiring and it's more upbeat and not so dark like the first one. Okay. Dyslexia poem. Scribbles on a page bring me into a haze. Words fly around, my head just wants to beat them to the ground. Dyslexia is hard to overcome, but I know for a fact I'm not dumb. Matter of fact, I'm really bright, brighter than a light. My ideas soar higher than a kite. D-U-M-B does not stand for me. S-M-A-R-T. Now that sounds like me. Hard work and dedication is my motivation. Dyslexia is not hard to conquer, but it can be a big monster. I need to continue to keep my spirits held high. I need to give this disability a drive-by. So, thank you. It really means a lot. I've only, to be honest, done maybe 2-3 speeches like this in front of kids. And out of my 3rd time, I'm actually now starting to realize that these speeches it's nice to hear my history, but in reality, what these kids are looking for is kind of that encouragement that dyslexia is not really a bad word. Because at your guys' age, 6, maybe 7, that word special, you're kind of like, you kind of get scared of it. But in reality, you need to embrace it. You need to kind of like say, hey, I'm dyslexic. You need to be proud of it. Who here likes to be the same as everybody else? I see one hand. So that means everybody else likes to be different, right? Don't want to be the same person because the world would be boring. I see dyslexic as that new person, that new thing, and that new possible advantage that this world could take, because I learn different from everybody else. I take that as an advantage. So that's all I have. We can go to questions and answers.
Question?
Anybody have questions?
How do you get through college? No.
How do I get through college?
I mean, do you have education and teaching certificates? Pretty, a lot of reading and stuff. Do you have accommodations? Do you?
Actually, this year, it was mainly my fault, but this year I wanted to prove to myself that I can do it without the accommodations. So this year I decided to not do the accommodations, and I also did it last year, and right now I'm carrying a 4.0. There's actually one thing, I have one more activity I totally forgot, almost forgot it. I did it at the last chat. Yep, and everybody really liked it. The kids really loved it. So if everybody can stand up for me, kind of give yourself a little space, at least the arms width. Find an open area, it doesn't even matter.
No, we're there. Arms for both of us.
All you need to do is to be able to lift your finger, turn each way, and not hit somebody. That's all you need.
Your finger's short.
Okay, everybody good? Okay, you're gonna stand there, your feet shoulder width apart. Just relax. Nice, comfortable stance. Okay. Now I want you to lift your finger. Lift one finger pointed straight out. All right. Now I want you to turn whichever way you want. Doesn't matter. Turn that way, and I want you to stop and mark that spot. Okay? Everybody have that spot? As far as you possibly can go. Alright, return to your comfortable stance. Okay, before I get into this, I'm going to tell you a little history behind it. I learned this from my father. He does it with his basketball teams all the time. And a manager actually did it with their business when they were actually in a slump. And the business ended up raising, I think it was close to $3 million toward their business after they did this. Okay, I want everybody to close your eyes now and just listen to my voice. Okay, just close your eyes. I'm not going to come up and push you, don't worry. Okay, so I want you to imagine lifting that finger. Don't do it. Just imagine. Just stay calm, relaxed. Imagine lifting that finger. Okay, now imagine going to that spot where your finger landed. You see that spot, correct? Okay, now imagine going 6 inches farther. I want you to tell yourself, I can go 6 inches farther than that. No, wait, I can go a whole foot farther. I'm better than this. I can go even farther. Okay, now I want everybody to open your eyes. And I want you to do the finger and go as far as you possibly can go. Did everybody go farther?
I think so.
Alright. Alright, you can sit down now. So I was taught this little bit, whatever you want to call it, little activity. And it kind of like hit home. Like, what can I do that's another step forward to make dyslexic more awareness? What can I do to make that extra step forward to get the word dyslexia out there? Because I'm still finding spots where people are like, what's that? What is that? I've never heard of it. And the number one killer that I love is when people go, oh yeah, I had dyslexia once. I was like, oh yeah, I did too, but I keep it. So basically, that little activity there I do with my team, my basketball team, just to tell them that they need to push a little bit farther. Like, if we can all just make one voice and go to Congress, we could probably get what we're trying to get past. One voice to a Congress or to anybody in our area, dyslexia will probably be the biggest thing around right now. Because in reality, that 1 in 5, it's also the same statistic that 1 in 5 dyslexic doesn't know he's dyslexic, or she. Thank you.